What are the other ways that you would attack corruption in the government at this point?
The two most important things to me are the tax code and funding the IRS, and then making small changes in the financial system. I mean, one of the things is that when we talk about the incentives that we put together in markets, when we talk about the rules they play for stock buybacks, the way that they pay people in stocks, the way that wealth is generated, and then capital gains taxes are never paid, the way they can take loans on the securities that they own so that they never actually have an income. We make those changes because it reduces inequality and because it adds revenue to the state, which it needs to then invest in people. So those are big changes for me. The tax code, for example, needs to be written in such a way that working people, if you're a laborer, if you work, you can benefit from the tax code. Right now, you don't. You benefit only if you're a capitalist, and none of us are. None of us are. I'm looking at all of you. None of you are a capitalist. You live in a capitalist society, but you still work for a living. You worked for a living. You're not a capitalist until you're just paid in dividends and you're great. And everyone else is working for that added value. Just to be clear. So even if, even if you're making $1 million a year, if you're working 100 hours a week and you're slaving away and you're doing all of that just to do the rat race and get ahead and everything else, to me, I'm like, you're a very wealthy working person. But for your working, like, some class consciousness is needed here. You're working your ass off for $1 million. Great, good for you. But I think, for example, if you're a billionaire, it's as if you're working 17,000 times harder than somebody who's working 2 jobs and has a kid at home and a family to raise and all these other issues, right? No one's working that hard. So I think that when we talk about the corruption, I'm just talking about also perspective and context is important. And I think that we do need to make the changes to the tax code, and we do need to make changes to our financial system so that all of that returns wealth and invests wealth back into people who work for a living, because all of us do. And we're really going to have to get a handle on it because of AI. I don't know where AI is going. No one is. No one's sure what the timeline is, what type of work it's going to replace, how quickly that work will be replaced, what the transformation will be. I always say it's like, it's almost like we're getting into the realm of science fiction and we're starting to get to like a Star Trek society. And so we're not ready for it, that amount of change. And so, but if we don't deal with fundamentally measuring capital differently and going through our accounting systems and going through taxes and going through public spending, if we don't get a grip on it socially and politically, we're definitely not ready for that future now. We're definitely not.